Good morning. Please rise in body or spirit and join me in singing hymn number 347, Gather the Spirit. It's in the gray hymnal and the lyrics are on the screen.
Witness the mystery of this song.
Please be seated.
What's going to happen?
Will everything be okay?
What can I do?
In these days, we find ourselves too often stuck with these questions on repeat.
What's going to happen? Will everything be okay? What can I do?
We grasp at signs and markers, articles of news and analysis,
Facebook memes and forwarded emails.
as if the new zodiac is capable of forecasting all that life may yet bring our way.
As if we could prepare.
As if life had ever made any promises of making sense or turning out the way we'd thought.
As if we are not also actors in this still unfolding story.
For this hour, we gather to surrender to the mystery.
To release ourselves from the needing to know.
The yearning to have it all already figured out.
And also the burden of believing we either have all the control or none.
Here in our song and our silence,
Our stories and our sharing.
we make space for a new breath, a new healing, a new possibility to take root.
That is courage, forged in the fire of our coming together and felt in the spirit that comes alive in this act of faith.
That we believe still a new world is possible.
That we are creating it already, here and now.
And so We light this flame as an act of faith.
A reminder,
A redeclaration,
a kindling of the trust that darkness can't ever shut out the light.
that kindness is more powerful than we know.
That humility and accountability allow us to change.
That together we can most certainly bend the arc of this miraculous universe
Toward beauty,
toward justice.
toward love. Amen. Give me a hug. So good morning. Welcome to the Eno River Unitarian Universalist Fellowship, or ERUUF, as we like to say. My name is Reverend Jacqueline Brett, and whoever you are, wherever you come from, whatever your race, your gender identities, whomever you love, and wherever you are on your spiritual journey or in your search for truth, for meaning, for liberation, we welcome you here in beloved community. And if you are visiting with us for the first or perhaps even the second time, I invite you to rise in body or in spirit so we might give you an ERUUF welcome. Welcome all of you, and thank you so much for choosing to spend your Sunday morning with us. We invite you in future Sundays to a class that takes place at 10 o'clock called Inquirers for visitors and newcomers, and you get to learn something about us, and you can also share some things about yourselves as well. We just came from that class, and I'm sorry if I came in here looking a little frazzled because it was such a rich class that we went later than usual, and I said, well, they can't start without me, but at some point I had to get here. So anyway, there's a little child that's clapping their hands. I heard this clicking sound. So is that hand clapping back there? Oh, that is so, yes! Great. For those of you who are online, if you put your name in the chat box, if it's available to you, someone will welcome you there as well. Today is the startup and the kickoff of our annual pledge drive, and you'll get to hear some things about that in just a moment. But for now, this would be a great time to turn down any devices you might have on your person. And let us all center ourselves into this time, into this place. And let's all together take a deep breath in and let it out. And so we begin by hearing from our pledge co-chairs, pledge drive co-chairs.
Good morning, ERUUF. My name is Hillary Zielazinski, and I'm one of your 2025 co-chairs of our pledge campaign. Do I have any gardeners out here? Aha, good ERUUF. I figured I'd have a few. So by the end of this reflection, you either are going to love this or you're going to have some feedback for me. So to grow a seed, I think you need a few obvious things. You need sun, you need water, you need soil. But especially in the cold winter months, I've been reflecting on a few other things that you need since we've been through the cold days, and especially this morning, it's pretty cold. And I was ready for those warmer days. So I've been thinking about the darkness that you need to nurture growth. And right now, those bulbs that are starting to pop out through the soil, they needed that cold and darkness to be able to pop through. And walking through the woods, and you look out those windows, you see the bare trees, they needed that time to be able to produce the leaves and the fruit that will come. Now, raising my 8-year-old Benjamin and my 5-year-old Amelia, I think of the cold and the darkness that came before them. It's hard to believe it's been 10 years ago, but my husband and Joey and I were expecting our first baby. And we were shocked when we discovered that the joys and anxieties of anticipating labor pains instead were indicators of my placenta detaching, resulting in the devastating stillbirth of our first son at 36 weeks, who we named Jacob. Those were some seriously dark moments as we processed through that loss. Within a month or two, Reverend Kalani, who was one of the ministers at that time, made the bold move to cultivate the soil in us and invited us to consider helping on Wednesday evenings for some youth programming that was happening at that time, which transformed our connections to ERUUF and with individuals that nurtured our healing process. Those connections allowed us to take root versus pulling away, which that pulling away was happening so much in our other spaces of our lives. And now I have 2 sunshine kids who sing on Sundays with the youth choir. I'm stretching like crazy as an OWL facilitator who helps facilitate some of the Our Whole Lives curriculum that I never received as a child. And I'm finding great joy in welcoming visitors as a visitor host on Sundays. Raising our kids in a faith-based community that cultivates the values that I desperately want to see in the world continues to be the driving force in how I spend my time and invest in my dollars. The deepening and intentional relationships that comes from these experiences are truly the beauty of this place. So wherever you are, whether you're feeling the darkness of these times, you're ready to dig in, you're ready to cultivate the soil of the programming that occurs here at ERUUF, or to make the connections that enrich the lives here at ERUUF, keep showing up, keep engaging. Your generous and financial pledges allows us to plant the seeds now that will nurture us through these times. This is why I choose to be a sustainer, so I can focus on the place that I truly love. And thank you for helping us kick off this 2025-year pledge campaign. And you'll be able to join us in having conversations with Sarah and I at the table in the gallery. You'll be able to talk to us. You'll see the sunflower balloon that our daughter helped pick out and my son helped pick out yesterday. So you'll see the sunflower. If you have any questions, you can find Sarah and I in the gallery.
Thanks, Hillary. I'm Sarah Terry, and I am somehow the co-chair for this year's pledge campaign. Since Julie and I have been coming to ERUUF over 25 years ago, we have been sustainers. Each year, we think through our budget and what portion of that budget should be spent in support of ERUUF. Like many of you, this involves thinking through who else we give money to. In our house, we focus on organizations that support human rights, education, the environment, democracy, and the free press. These are all our values in the greater world. With so many deserving organizations out there, especially now with so many losing federal funding, I've been thinking quite a lot about what ERUUF means to me and why I invest so much time and treasure in this community, even at a time when our own jobs are at risk from the actions being meted out in Washington. In large part, I think it's because the ways in which ERUUF encapsulates all of our values in one place. From the beginning, when joining this community, it was because it represented a safe space to be a lesbian couple in a local community of shared values. Our 3 children were welcomed. They grew and learned how to be empathetic and aware adult humans through ERUUF's RE programs. And Al is fantastic, by the way. I can do a whole separate commercial on that. When ERUUF began to focus in earnest on diversity, equity, and inclusion, and those are not dirty words, it matched it matched our desire to grow in our commitment to anti-racism and social justice. We found common cause and ways to plug in on many social justice issues that we care about, from LGBTQ+ rights and refugee and migration justice. We found many of our people here, lifelong friends and excellent companions on the journey, and that list grows every year. As Hillary said in the video we did to kick off the campaign, some of what ERUUF offers is what I'm looking for. But often the good stuff, the secret sauce as I call it, is the stuff I didn't know I needed. I'm going to give you an example. I've been co-leading a class on spiritual leadership, and let me tell you, I really didn't think it was for me. Spiritual leadership, they're not really words I associate with myself. But commentary. Commentary from the peanut gallery. But it has been illuminating, challenging, and maybe just what I needed right now to get through these dark times. We talked a lot in yesterday's class about covenant. And I've been reflecting since yesterday on how pledging is part of the covenant we make with each other. Pledging supports our collective journey. And if everybody pledges as they are able, I believe we would have enough to do all we can and need to do. This is our community, and nothing happens here that isn't funded by us together. We do a lot here, but I know there's more we should and can do. I'm not going to repeat the challenges I laid out in the video Hillary and I did. And I know that for some of us, the sands are shifting, and our family's financial picture is a little fuzzy. Despite that, we will pledge in covenant because we believe in growing our giving, growing into our values, and planting the seeds for a future that ERUUF, for a future ERUUF that we know in our hearts is possible. Thank you.
Come on, you know what time it is. Come on down. The smallest and the tallest and the youngest and the athletes and all, come on down. It's the story for all ages. All these beautiful, beautiful people. So, we're going to be talking, and you will in your religious education program later, and all of us in here, about the fruits of planting seeds. And there are all kinds of ways to do that, and when we do, maybe we'll get something like what we're developing here. Maybe we'll make something beautiful. Maybe something beautiful. In the heart of a gray city, there lived a girl who loved to doodle, draw, color, and paint. Every time she saw a blank piece of paper, Mira thought to herself, maybe. And because of this, her room was filled with color, and her heart was filled with joy. On her way to school one day, Mira gave a round apple to Mr. Henry, the owner of the shop down the street. She gave a flower to Miss Lopez, the lady with the sparkling eyes. She gave a songbird to Mr. Sachs and a red heart to the policeman who walked up and down the streets. On her way home, Mira taped a glowing sun onto the wall hiding in the shadows. Her city was less gray, but not much. The next day, Mira saw a man with a pocket full of paintbrushes. He gazed at the wall. He looked at her son. He held his fingers up in a square and peered through them. He said thoughtfully. What do you see? Said Mira. Maybe something beautiful. The man replied. Then, just like that, he dipped a brush in the paint. Bam! Pow! The shadows scurried away. Sky blue cut through the gloom. The man's laughter was like a rainbow spreading across the sky. That's a great picture. Who are you? Mira asked. I'm an artist, the man said, a muralist. I paint on walls. I'm an artist too, she told him. He handed Mira a brush. Then come on! Yes. Mira dipped it in the loudest color she saw. Yowie! The wall lit up like sunshine. How about a big yowie? Yowie! As the man drew pictures on the bricks, Mira added color, punch, and pizzazz. Soon, Mr. Sachs joined in. Then came others. Everyone painted to the rhythm. Salsa, merengue, bebop. Woo! Even Mira's mama painted and danced the cha-cha-cha. The whole neighborhood became a giant block party until the drama. The policeman walked up. Excuse me, he said. The music stopped. Mira put her brush down. They were surely in trouble. The officer cleared his throat, then paused. May I paint with you? He asked. So Mira handed him a brush, and the music started again. Teachers and papas joined in, babies too. Mira and the man handed out brush after brush. Colors spread throughout the streets, and so did joy. Wherever Mira and the man went, art followed like the string of a kite. After they colored the walls, they painted utility boxes and benches. They decorated sidewalks with poetry and shine, and everyone danced. Together, they created something more beautiful than they had ever imagined. When their clothes were splattered with a million colors, everyone sat down to rest, except the muralist. His eyes sparkled. You, my friends, are all artists, he told them. The world is your canvas. He smiled wide, then pulled everything together in big, sweeping motions. His paintbrush was like a magic wand. When he was finished, Mira added one more bird way up in the sky. Maybe, she thought, just maybe. And when you go to RE this morning, you're going to be talking about planting seeds and the way some little thing spread all this joy and beauty in the world. Actually, this story is based on a true story. So I hope you'll be finding out more about that in RE today, too. And now, we'll play you out.
Peace, salam, shalom. 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 Please turn and greet your neighbor, especially those friends you don't know yet.
Please join me now in the spirit of meditation and prayer. Spirit of life, as we gather this morning, we celebrate the gift of community, a place of refuge and purpose, a fellowship that calls us to action, a place where we radiate love, joy, and a spirit of generosity. We celebrate our core values to engage our ongoing commitment to equity and justice, to remain conscious of our interconnections and our interdependence, our trust in one another as human beings. We bring together our creativity and generosity, our compassion and care to face the challenges of these uncertain times. This fellowship needs our unique contributions, each of us, all of us, knowing that it is our work, shared with each other in covenant, that creates and sustains this beloved community. Each week, we also hold in our hearts joys and concerns, both global and local. This morning, we acknowledge and honor the time of Ramadan, a month-long journey of fasting, prayer, reflection, and community in the Islamic faith. We hold in our hearts the family of Lou Millen and their grief at his recent passing. He died peacefully, surrounded by family. We extend loving care to his wife, Peggy, and all his loved ones. We hold in our hearts the heart and soul of the world. May we find ways to remember the power of love to heal and transform. We also hold in our hearts all those celebrating joys, milestones, and successes in life at this time. Today we celebrate with John Grimes Medlin and his family, anticipating grandbaby number 1 coming next week, and now grandbaby number 2 due in October. May we continue to celebrate these moments on the journey together. In a spirit of unity, we lift up all of our prayers and blessings. Let us breathe in peace and breathe out love and honor this moment together in silence. Amen, Ashe, and blessed be.
This is the meditation hymn. It's going to be Hush. And instead of looking at words on the screen, I invite you to respond to me as a caller. You sing what I sing, and of course the BCC is going to be singing robustly too. All right? Hush, 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 somebody's calling my name. Hush, hush, somebody's calling my name. Hush, hush, somebody's calling my name. Oh my Lord, what shall I do? What shall I do? All the little children, somebody's calling my name. All the little children, somebody's calling my name. All the little children, somebody's calling my name. Oh my Lord, what shall I do? What shall I do? Listen to me, suffering people. Somebody's calling my name. Oh, the suffering people. Somebody's calling my name. Suffering people. Somebody's calling my name. Oh my Lord, what shall I do? What shall I do? Preaching woman, somebody's calling my name. Preaching woman, somebody calling my name. Preaching woman, somebody's calling my name. Oh my Lord, what shall I do? What shall I do? Listen to me, hush, hush, hush. Somebody's calling my name. Hush, hush. Somebody's calling my name. Hush. Somebody's calling my name. Oh my Lord, what shall I do? What shall I do?
Guess I gotta preach. Miss Jones sang that song at my ordination here at ERUUF, and I never forget her standing over here and just pointing to me. I was like, okay, I'm gonna do it. So I have sitting on one of my altars at home, and for those of you who don't give much thought to things like altars, or perhaps don't know what they are, altars are generally, though not always, small spaces such as a table, or perhaps a portion of a table or some other surface that contains an object or objects that might hold a particular meaning for a person or group of people that is beyond the object's typical meaning. For instance, a rock is a rock, right? This is a rock that sits here on this pulpit, and this pulpit is not an altar, but it has a rock sitting upon it. And this rock actually has significant meaning to me because it says courage on it. And so I love having it here as a reminder. In spiritual and religious spaces like this, the objects on an altar are often considered sacred by those who give them that meaning. Our flaming chalice is such an object here in Unitarian Universalism. So I love creating altars and generally consider the objects on mine to have significance as objects that inspire me, that lift my spirits and help me to remain present to what is essential and most meaningful to me about myself or about others and the world around me. If you were to visit my office, you would notice that sitting in the place where a coffee table usually is a large circular metal pan that holds objects of significance to me, including a small replica of this chalice, all sitting upon what I consider to be a personal altar. And there is also an altar on the cabinet behind where I sit at my desk, as well as an altar of sorts at the base of my computer, which has a black angel, 3 frogs, some small ducks, and a small magnet someone gave me which says, "Embrace your superpowers." This past week, during our monthly staff chapel, the entire staff that was present created small personal altars consisting of items that lifted their spirits, and they were placed all around this sanctuary. And we, as a group, traveled from altar to altar as each person shared about the meaning for them of the objects on the altar they'd created. It was a very moving shared experience during which we got to learn some things about one another. So, as I started out, on one of my altars at home is a stone black square given to me decades ago that has carved into it the words, "If you can dream it, you can do it." And though it was not given to me for this particular reason, it does express an aspect of the theology of possibility that I hold. While I don't actually do everything I dream about, because some of those things aren't really all that meaningful to me when I get right down to it, but when I do embrace or claim something that I dream about at a heart level, I believe it is possible, unless I am shown in no uncertain terms that it is impossible. Now, for me, this would probably require something like a law of physics, because often when something is said to be impossible, it seems to me that what it really means is, I don't really want to do it. Or that it's not possible now. But I also believe in playing a long game. As the poet Langston Hughes wrote, "Hold fast to dreams, for if dreams die, life is a broken-winged bird that cannot fly." And I have never wanted to be a broken-winged bird. So with this understanding and letting folks know about my theological biases, 3 weeks ago, I invited those present on that Sunday morning, and some of you were included, whether here in the sanctuary or online, to, among other things, consider what might have perhaps seemed at that moment like an incredible proposal, that the role we have right now in this moment is to create the future world that in the depths of our hearts we know is possible for the well-being of all. And I asked that in considering this, what does your heart know is possible? And between our two services, oh, wait a minute. Hang on a second, I skipped a page. I lost a page. Oh, here it is. There it is. It all hangs together eventually. I asked, what does your heart know is possible, is conceivable, is imaginable? And then we pause for a moment to connect with our hearts. And then, in real time, everyone present, whether adult or child, was invited to post into an online form a word or phrase about the world they knew in their hearts was possible. And between our two services, there ended up being about 400 humans in all, of all ages, who imagined the world and created this. Slide. Yeah. Your dream, your vision of the world your hearts believed is possible was so beautiful, so inspiring, that many of you wanted it printed on t-shirts. I believe because you wanted to hold fast to your dreams, for if these dreams die, life would be a broken-winged bird that cannot fly, and none of us want to be that broken-winged bird. Amen. Then you were all invited to turn and talk to one another about an immediate action you might take to begin realizing this world. Simple things that would collectively result in tangible acts of consciously creating a future for the well-being of all humans, all beings, and the earth itself. So I left that morning with my heart greatly lifted by what we had imagined. And because I really do believe, if you can dream it, you can do it, it suddenly came to me, became clear to me what the work is ahead of us and what our pledge campaign must be this year. Next slide, please. Yes. I have likened the actions that you all discuss doing, and I hope you are all still discussing and doing, to seeds. Seeds are always planted in present time for the expectation of a harvest and an imagined future. And indeed, everything you see and touch and experience here at ERUUF is the harvest of seeds planted that have grown into possibilities that have been realized, seeds that became a future here for us now. Yes. You okay? She's not okay. What do you need? What do you need? What do you need? You okay? You want to come up here for a minute? Come on up. Come on up here. What's your name? What's your name? What's the matter? Oh. I like your shoes. Those are some nice Crocs. Okay. Where do you want to go? Come on. You want to sit right here? How about you sit right here? Yeah, there we go. Future preacher. All right. You okay? When you don't want to sit here anymore, it's okay to go back to mom, okay? All right? Okay. All right. Future. Right? Yeah, so as I was saying, here's the thing about those future seeds, is that it realized this very room. That's what those seeds realize. They realize the pews that you're sitting in. They realize the fact that this child can be sitting right here, right now. Can y'all see her? Oh, there you go. You want to wave at people? No? No? You just want to sit here? You want to go back to mom? Okay, there you go. There you go. I didn't raise two grown people for nothing. You okay now? She's like, let me get as far away from that woman as possible. Look, she's going all the way down to the end of the pew. Oh. What's her name? Mary Beth? Mariva. Oh, Mariva. Yeah. All right. As I was saying, think about this space. Look at the ceiling and the lights. Think about the floor and everything that you see up here. These were all seeds in someone's mind at some time that became the future. That is now. The Buddhist teacher Aron Safar says we harvest the fruit of our ancestors' actions for good and for ill, and our choices today shape the future. Indeed, never before in the history of this congregation have we all been confronted by all that we are dealing with today in these unprecedented times for our lives and the world as we know it. no matter who we are, no matter what world we might have imagined. It is for that reason that I constantly ponder, ask myself and any who might be willing to listen, what unprecedented thing might we imagine, might we do in these unprecedented times? And so, when you, whether you were here or not 3 Sundays ago, cast forth seeds to create the world our hearts know is possible during what feels like impossible times, I take that very seriously. And I hope you do too. Every word or phrase placed on our imagined world is a seed. The question becomes, how are you and I cultivating and watering these seeds? You want to come back? Come on, you can sit right here. Awesome. Amen. Seminary's in her future. So I have to give you a spoiler alert. A theology of possibility is not without its practical side, in that it requires something of each of us. It is my belief that this community, ERUUF, must continue to be the soil that nourishes the seeds that we, young and old, are planting. Call it a field, if you will, in which we are intentionally tilling the soil and planting seeds, whether we see the fruit of our labors in our lifetimes or whether some seeds lie dormant to be harvested in generations to come. After contemplating this world we have together co-created, and do know we are always co-creating the world, even the one we are in right now. But in this future world, I see the essence of at least 5 concerns expressed. The first being compassion and hope. And that we must plant seeds now that enable us to face the uncertainty of these times, that enable us to continue being unapologetically radical in our welcome to those for whom compassion and hope is hard to find anywhere else. So we are growing, which means we must be doing a little something right. We are currently serving an increasingly vibrant, dynamic congregation of 1,270 people. Yes. These people consist of members of our active friends, our children, and our youth. So the practical side of this is that our operating budget must reflect the emerging needs of all this wonderful growth, whether those needs are pastoral or having enough materials in our religious exploration classes or making sure the campus is clean, all of which leads to another of our seeds, community and resources. This is a community with a bold and beautiful vision of the world, and I am glad for that. And everything we might imagine requires people, paid staff, as well as resources that will keep things running when you call us or when you arrive here. I'm talking about very real things like the increasing costs of utilities and property insurance, and perhaps most importantly, the staffing needed to hold the space and the people of this very vibrant congregation. Staff that must receive a fair and equitable compensation for the work that it does. Staff that is able to work the hours actually required for the jobs they do, because we have the resources to pay them, which we don't have right now. And also, staff for roles that we do not yet have for important work that needs doing. You ready to go back to Mom? Okay. We should make her a worship associate. So lest it appears that this is only about us here, so much of what is in the world we know is possible has to do with planting seeds of justice and equity, and how we are focusing our energies and resources in the communities beyond us. We do not need to do all the things, but it is important that we are in partnership with and following the lead of groups whose direct work and mission it is to support people who are being directly targeted and who are most at risk in these times. I'm talking about those who support migrant and refugee communities, LGBTQ plus communities, Black and brown communities, and other communities experiencing food, employment, and housing insecurity. Communities we will likely see increasing in these times if things continue as they are, if we dare not dream and take action on behalf of that which we believe is possible. I have had heartfelt conversations with our Board of Trustees and its Financial Advisory Committee about what might it mean to act in doing something unprecedented in these unprecedented times, like perhaps establishing an emergency fund to support organizations we are in a relationship with who are taking risks to do work we know is needed now and in the world our hearts imagine. I want you to know there's overwhelming support for this by our Board of Trustees, but the truth of the matter is that we don't yet have the resources for this. The operating word here is yet. Because remember, in the theology of possibility I described earlier, nothing is ever really impossible. It is about our will to make it so. And we must seriously consider what we have the will to make so, the seeds we are willing to plant when almost everything is at risk right now. And in some cases, I want to just say that is not an entirely bad thing, as we become holders and seekers of peace and truth, our fourth pair of seeds, becoming unrelenting in sowing seeds that, like dandelions, sprout up everywhere. You know those weeds we're like pulling up and saying, I don't want on my lawn? Well, listen to this. Dandelion leaves, it turns out, are actually more nutritious than kale or spinach. We can be dandelion leaves. We need to cultivate our awareness and engagement in activities that support a healthy democracy that is willing to address its structures and systems that are a poison to us all, that have led us to exactly where we are today. We need to face the truth, the facts of traumatizing and harmful history so that we do not repeat it, which many in our government and our private sector are on the cusp of doing. if they have not already begun so, which is having a chilling effect upon us all. I know it is on me. We want peace in the world, we imagine, and it is no easy thing to be proudly peacemaking and love-holding under our current conditions. It is perhaps the most challenging thing of all, and yet we must be exactly that, or else we risk creating the world that we don't want to have. And finally, it's important for us to remember that no seeds can take hold without regeneration and resilience. Our actions that address a conscious care for the earth, now as we consider the world left for our children. There she is over there now. And all the other little ones that have been in this sanctuary today. I don't think I've seen so many babies in here. Yeah, it's just glorious. Yeah, as we consider the world left for our children and the generations to come even after them. We'll continue to live into our ongoing commitments as a congregation that holds Green Sanctuary certification as we do, even as, in order to do this, there is a real financial cost. It's a cost, but it's not a burden. As with justice and equity I spoke of earlier, we've got to continue in our efforts at seeking justice for the earth now more than ever, as our current administration continues to eliminate policies that would have supported it, as well as the people most directly impacted in the world in these times by actions taken by the most industrialized nations, which of course includes us. And as we consider our actions locally, there are communities here in Durham, Orange, and Wake counties, and all over North Carolina that are most directly impacted by environmental injustice that, in the interdependent web of existence of which we are all a part, the web of mutuality, we are all impacted or complicit in creating that world, and we must decide that we have a will to do something about it. So my intention here has been to not only recruit for seminary. We have 4 seminarians right now, so I'm a good recruiter for seminary. But it's also to state the case for the world we say we want, for the world we know is possible. And so the action as I ask of you today is your pledge. Actually, it's 2 pledges. The first being a pledge not to me or to ERUUF or even to Unitarian Universalism, but a pledge to your own heart. To not engage in fantasy, but to make real what it knows is possible. The second pledge is one I do ask on behalf of ERUUF, the pledge of your financial gift to sustain this community that is willing to uphold this possibility, our collective vision of what is possible. And to make that pledge a little sweeter, I've got something for you. If you pledge, you'll get a t-shirt. But whether you want a t-shirt or not, our pledge co-chairs will be outside these doors to show you how to plant your seeds now. And so I leave you with these words of Henry David Thoreau, who was a Unitarian minister, and said, "Though I do not believe that a plant will spring up where no seed has been, I have great faith in a seed. Convince me that you have a seed there, and I am prepared to expect wonders. Let us plant seeds and expect wonders, my friends. Amen, Ashe, and may it be so. And so on this opening day of our annual pledge drive, I ask you to pledge. It doesn't matter to me whether you're the amount of a pledge. It doesn't matter to me whether you are a member of ERUUF or not. You are here. And if this place has any value to you, has any meaning for you, I invite you to pledge so that we can be sustained, so that you can come here a year from now, so that you can come here next month and know that we are here and that we are thriving and that we can accommodate even more. And so as the greeters come forward, they will take up this morning's offering, and if you don't have anything for their collection pouches, know that you can point your device at the QR code and either make an offering for today if that's your choice, and I respect that, but also that you have an opportunity to make a pledge. We don't have pledge cards this week. We will have them next week. And so we are taking all of our pledges online for this week. And so I invite you to consider a gift.
Jail door open and they walked out.
Yes. And so we give thanks for all that we get to receive in beloved community, for the seeds that were planted over 6 decades or nearly 6 decades ago, and the seeds that we are living into today, and the seeds we plant for those to come. Let's make it so, my friends, and let's be grateful and thankful that we get to be here in these times, and someone imagined this, or maybe they didn't, and yet we are here.
Please rise in body or spirit and join us in singing We Shall Be Known. It is not in the hymnal. The lyrics are on the screen. And we sing it through 3 times. So if you don't know already, you'll know it by the 3rd time. We shall be known by the company we keep, by the ones who circle round to tend these fires. We shall be known by the ones who sow and reap the seeds of change alive from deep within the earth. It is time now. It is time now that we thrive. It is time we lead ourselves into the well. It is time now, and what a time to be alive. In this great turning we shall learn to lead in love. In this great turning we shall learn to lead in love. We shall be known by the company we keep, by the ones who circle round to tend these fires. We shall be known by the ones who sow and reap the seeds of change alive from deep within the earth. It is time now. It is time now that we thrive. It is time we lead ourselves into the well. It is time now, and what a time to be alive. In this great turning we shall learn to lead in love. In this great turning we shall learn to lead in love. We shall be known by the company we keep, by the ones who circle round to tend these fires. We shall be known by the ones who sow and reap the seeds of change alive from deep within the earth. It is time now. It is time now that we thrive. It is time we lead ourselves into the well. It is time now, and what a time to be alive. In this great turning we shall learn to lead in love. In this great turning we shall learn to lead in love.
Yes, so before I get to closing words, I just wanted to say something. I saw some of you lifting up your cameras when we were here with a child. I just want to ask you to be wise about posting any images of her online without her family's permission. We need to protect our little ones, and they may not want her picture or videos of her online. You can do whatever you want with regard to me. I don't care. So our closing words are from Oren J. Safar, who writes that every action plants a seed. Some seeds bear fruit in this lifetime while others lie dormant for generations. We harvest the fruit of our ancestors' actions for good and for ill, and our choices shape the future. Remember this and be of good courage, my friends, and know that you are not alone. Go in love, go in peace. Amen, ashe, and blessed be.